budget. Hear me? And to provide an update from what we presented at the previous meeting. So in the packet, and I apologize for the amount of volume of information. However, I felt it was important to give you as much as possible for this meeting.
Not even 600 pages.
Hey, we stayed under.
Yep.
So again, the key budget drivers, health insurance. So we did have open enrollment and that closed November 19th. I was able to get an update from the HR team and we have a cost savings of $26,000. So instead of the 10,000, it's 26,000. So we'll make those applicable changes prior to the final budget coming forward. But I thought that was great news to come forward with.
And what attributes to that 26,000? Is it a hard number, soft number?
Well, it's fairly hard in the sense that employees opt insurance benefits.
Okay,
And so whatever they selected will determine the premiums that we have to pay, and that's how we come up with our dollar.
okay. It's not that extra program that's supposedly gonna save us all this
It's
money.
a combination of people selecting the new programs, people going from single to family, family to single, or dropping. It's overall collectively, the net amount is a $26,000 savings.
Okay, good.
And again, we anticipate with time, additional people will move to the other programs. But this is our first year with the new offering.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Minnesota paid family leave. We still have ongoing discussions with the collective bargaining groups. We will have, Todd, correct me, 3 or 4.
We have 3 right now and possibly 2. I have a meeting with APSME tomorrow.
Okay, so those will be coming at your December 11th meeting.
So what are we bargaining for on that? That's not our program. That's the state of Minnesota program.
Pay half.
It's the half of the 0.88%. So as we discussed at the previous working session, the amount that is required to contribute is 0.88% of 1%. And so the employer has the right to ask the employees to pay 50%. But we can't ask them to pay more than 50%.
Mhm.
So that has to be negotiated. It's not a given. And that's right in the law. We have to negotiate if we have collective bargaining. And so that's what Mr. Sadler is working on. So we have
potentially
3
5
coming forward.
Get her done.
Potentially 5 will pay for half of it.
Yes. So if those pass December 11th by the board, then we will go adjust the budget. So again, that could give us a little more savings, if you will. Capital requests. So what is in the proposal, any revisions are not going to impact the levy because it's being recommended come from the fund balance. So again, even if we make changes, it's not going to change the levy. The Larry Hill Reform Act, previously we projected 150,000 as our estimate for impact to the county. We did more analysis and I'm recommending 107,000 year over year in 2026. We currently had 27,000 because we were already on target to be hitting that. After additional analysis, I'm recommending we increase it to another 80,000, which brings that to a total of $360,000 for the medical expenses. Again, this is for the medication for the inmates. And it's the new law that went into effect July 1st.
I'm sorry. When you said back to the capital request, that it's coming out of the fund balance, and I thought you had provided us that in one of these documents.
Yes, it's actually on page.
Well, so you say fund
12.
balance is anticipated to have approximately 2.25 million. This is verbiage, 2.25 million excess
Yes,
over what's our 3/12 or whatever it is.
correct.
Such.
Yep. So we projected, I think it was 18 million. And so when we're looking at, again, this is projecting because we don't really know what bills are going to hit or what revenue is going to hit between now and the end of the year. We're estimating to the best of our ability.
Okay, but you're estimating 1.1 for capital items, but then did I see?
Yep. So that is on page 14 of the memo, the board packet. On the top, the capital improvement program.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut off the page numbers. When I printed some. 14, page 14?
Yep.
Okay, there. But now you're catching me off guard, this courthouse roof, 3.5? Is that what we always thought? I thought it was,
Originally it was 2 to 2,
Yep.
2.5.
That's right.
are we really up to 3.5?
Yeah.
That's the estimate, yes.
Sell it for $1.
I'll buy it
Okay. Oh, will ya?
For
for
$1.
$1.
The courthouse?
Um,
Okay, get that in writing.
Could you
Sell
just
it.
clarify, are you feeling like nothing from the capital budget is gonna come out of the levy?
that is what I would be proposing, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep. And I'm not insinuating that everything that is currently there is going to be recommended,
I get that.
because we're still working through what do we really need
Yep.
versus what can we maybe not do
Yep.
in 2026.
Gotcha.
Okay,
But I'm still recommending that we use fund balance, because we really shouldn't use fund balance for the ongoing day-to-day operations.
right. And those are unrestricted fund balances?
Yes.
Do we have an updated sheet of all the fund?
Not
balance?
in
Not
the
yet.
packet.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I wasn't able to get.
That's okay. All right. I didn't remember seeing it. but-
Yep, you are correct.
Maureen, so going back to Larry Hill, so that is a negative impact.
Correct,
But not as bad as originally thought.
correct. Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
But is there any way that Larry, I don't totally understand it. I know it's from the prescriptions and everything. What do we have to do new that's causing that price increase?
Okay, fair question. So according to the discussion with Sheriff Ganrud, what causes it is that when an individual comes into the facility and they have certain prescriptions, we are required to maintain the same prescriptions. And if there is any kind of disagreement or question, we have to have a professional physician evaluate the inmate. And then there's a back and forth about what medication should or shouldn't. And unless we have a justifiable reason, and my understanding, the inmate agrees, we cannot change the prescription, so we have to pay for that prescription. The county has to pay for it, but we also have to pay the physician for the evaluation.
So if I get
determination.
arrested,
Yeah.
I don't know the system. Okay, so if I get arrested and come into jail and they put me in jail,
Mhm.
does somebody come and say, oh, what drugs are you on?
That's
Legal
standard
prescription?
practice to ask what medications are you on?
Well, how do
because-
we know then what, they don't have them in their pockets usually. I mean, they're at home on the medicine cabinet or the table, so.
Yeah, I don't know the details of how they get all that information, but I know it's part of the booking process because they need to know, their stability.
That's what the jail intake worker does, plus there's others in the jail that review the intake, and like
Mhm.
Maureen said, then they determine, yeah, what. And there's a nurse still, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so, between that and the family, a lot of times the family will bring the prescriptions.
So we have to maintain what they're on. We don't have to add any new things. or
Right,
Any
right.
extra things. just
whereas before
maintain.
they would go off them, and then sometimes the in-house nursing and the contract doctor would take them off just, and that's what kind of led to, I think, this.
Yeah.
And put them on a different type of medication that had the same effect probably, but might have been cheaper. I will just throw this out, since this is a working session, this is why you need the WRAP program. Because we get people out earlier and get them up so that they aren't in the jails, and the county doesn't have to pay for their medications, they don't have to pay for their hospitalization, all that.
No, we need doctors to prescribe less medications. I mean, I
Yes,
think
and
we're
yes.
such a
Yes,
medic,
and yes, yes.
yeah, we're
Well-
on such a medicated, our society is so, there's a pill for everything. No, we shouldn't have a pill for everything. It should, okay, all right. figure
And
it
so Maureen, the additional cost is because of physician costs and
Medication.
medication, so it's
Mhm.
that much more.
Yep.
All right.
And again, this is the best estimate based on the activity we're seeing already for the 6-month period. Because actually the whole 6 months hasn't even passed because it's through December. It started July 1st.
And
So
part
I'm
of the
doing the
process
best
would be
projection.
to see if they have these drugs at home and they can just
Yes.
have them there and we don't have to pay and everything.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
But the problem is, if they're in there for a long enough time, they lose their Medicaid. And they have to reapply, so that's where the
Well, the
county,
day they check in, see how many refills are on the bottle and get them refilled.
well, even then, you can't get it refilled under Medicaid. So.
But all our criminals
This-
shouldn't be on Medicaid.
I would.
I think a
Okay,
number
we're
of
not
the
gonna get into
people
that part,
in the
but-
facility are on.
But this is why we've
Medicaid.
been pushing to get people out earlier, under public safety, but getting them out earlier because they lose their social security, they lose their Medicaid. It's a real, it snowballs.
And I'll throw my 2 cents in and keep them out in the first place if at all possible.
Mhm.
Diversion, catch
Well,
them,
mhm,
build a fence before they go
Yeah.
over the cliff and land in the hospital
Mhm.
or the jail. So
Mhm.
Yep.
think
Early
shelter, think
intervention,
shelter in mind.
All right, so personnel, just a reminder, the net reduction of FTEs is 4.8, which is $480,000, that's been removed.
That's been constant over the last couple working sessions, right?
Yes, we have not cut additional positions. And those are all positions that were vacant. There was not an incumbent in any of those. We have implemented already a soft hiring freeze, but it's also represented in the draft budget to the amount of $500,000, and that includes the turnover savings. There's no new personnel requests that are included in the budget, even though we did have requests from leadership as well as from I lost my train of thought there, new personnel requests.
On the
Oh,
budget.
yeah. Well, I was thinking about the ones that are upcoming, so like the SNAP and Medicaid changes, et cetera. So, yes.
A number of years ago, I don't know, it was kind of a soft conversation. Was there any need to look at an early retirement incentive to cut workforce, to reduce workforce?
So we have actually a phased retirement document, a plan. The concern or issue with that is that it's written in such that it has to be an ongoing significant savings. And when we did that, a lot of the positions have already been eliminated, so there's not a lot of opportunity to cut.
Okay.
There, maybe there might be one or two, but I didn't,
Okay, I remember.
it doesn't pop
we
out
looked
when I
at-
evaluated it.
Okay, I remember we looked at it at one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we actually implemented it and we did have some people take advantage of it.
Mhm.
But at this point, I'm not aware of anyone that would take advantage of it, but doesn't mean we can't put it out there. But again, the main concern is that it wouldn't be offered or eligible to all individuals because it needs to have some ongoing cost savings.
Mhm.
And that's where we run into a problem.
Well, if you have a senior employee that's gotten all the pay raises over the years and you hire a new, there is some cost savings there.
Potentially, if they don't take the benefits of the county and the new person coming on does.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's
Multi-factor.
not as simple as,
Well, and with the labor market, you
Yeah.
normally have to hire people at a higher wage. so-
yeah, we don't always start at the bottom of the grid.
And I hear what you're saying. And but we're also, in terms of the labor market, we have very valuable people in very key positions. I'm not sure if we want to incentivize them. Heck, we almost need to incentivize them
Potentially, yeah.
to stay longer because we have, if we were to lose more of our department heads and other key people, we would be a hurting unit. So
We would, but I just saw a friend at a
We saw it.
convenience store and I didn't realize that he had retired and he says, yeah, I got out of the system. The system was driving him in
Yep.
private business
Mhm.
and such. He said, yeah, there was factors that just, it wasn't worth it anymore. So
Mhm.
just asking.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Outside agencies, I do have a note that on the previous working session, Commissioner Elsing, Vagley and Meyer All were in agreement to increase SWCD by 11,750. That was not added yet into the budget, but I just wanted to, again, reiterate that I acknowledge it and we will make that change because it is a majority of the board.
Thank you.
I do want to touch base on, you should have a SEMCAC request that was, sitting in your workspace when you came. That is new. I just received that just a little bit ago from, Mr. Spitzer. And this is not previously requested of the board.
It said Semstra, but it's Semcat.
Oh, I'm sorry, SEMCAC. Thank you.
The SEMCAT contribution we make is for the clinic.
Yes.
This is for Rolling Hills Transit. So, the same.
Yep. But I did tell Mr. Spitzer I would bring it to the board. That is not in the draft budget.
What is he?
He wants 6,400.
Okay, I see that now.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then I did want to come back to an inquiry, Commissioner Ward, you had asked a couple of times now on Project Fine.
Yes.
So the contract has the services for $10.23 per hour. And Project Fine has contacts of 5,910. So if we costed that out, it's $60,459. So we are getting a pretty good deal for what they're doing.
$20,000 savings?
Right. However, I will note that it's not a mandated service.
Right. And there's a question though that a constituent brought up last
Mhm.
summer that there's checks in the registry, the warrants that it adds up to like 90,000.
That's true.
But-
This is separate.
Right. So what are we, and if it's a contract or is it a gift?
No, it's a contract.
Okay.
And I did contact Fatima. So this is for advocacy and information referrals. That is what the 45,000 goes for.
I guess I thought it was interpretive. So this is.
No, that's the other,
That's the
the
other-
other charges
okay.
are for
So the
interpreters.
45 is for advocacy and what?
Information referrals to the residents of Winona County.
And they spent, no, but the 5,000, what did you have, 5,000 hours or something? That's not advocacy and referrals. That's.
Yeah, that is the number of contacts for those services. I'm merely providing the
Yeah,
information.
I know. It's,
Fatima says they have 5,910 contacts to give these resources and referral information to citizens of Winona County.
right, it's not a mandated.
It's not.
No,
That's why
the
I'm saying this is separate, because you had asked the question,
Right.
are we getting invoiced every time? No, we're not. This is a lump sum for providing these services.
Okay,
So I just
we
wanted
do-
to,
but we do get,
Clarify.
if they do interpretive services, we.
that's a separate bill.
Right,
Yes.
okay.
And
so
that's why
the
it adds
90
up to like 90-some
That's the
thousand.
90-some thousand.
Yes,
Okay, all right.
you are accurate. Okay.
Maureen, going back to, you mentioned SEMCAG. I guess later, you don't need to do it right now if you need more time, if you or Todd or Phil need more time to look at it, but could you give us a recommendation on this one? Because it looks like it leverages its matching funds, Olmsted County,
Mhm.
but later on, could you let us know if the three of you have more time to look at it, what your opinion is?
Yep.
Did you get a copy? Otherwise you can have my
Yep,
copy.
I have it.
Just speaking for myself, I'm open to the possibility, but I'd like to hear what you three recommend.
Okay.
This is the first time that I've seen it, so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yep.
just received it.
And is it hauling people to Olmsted County Services, meaning mail?
Sometimes.
Are we revenue enhancing Olmsted counties?
I've seen it like a number of times in town, but yeah, I'm sure it's.
I see it in Caledonia all the time.
Don't see it in Nodine.
Not yet.
Okay. So again, just to reiterate, there are no increases in the outside agencies that are currently contained in the draft budget.
But later on, you'll
Yeah.
add soil and water.
Yes, I
Thank
will.
you.
And
No,
then
I-
if applicable, SEMCAG.
And we did get, I appreciate those that sent in reports. The information is is mind boggling, but we got something from Project Find. We got something, what, from Winona Volunteer
Historical
Services,
Society.
Historical Society, the tax forms that I was,
The
looking,
990s,
the tourism.
Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
And then a couple of the vets, I think, were in there, the veterans.
Yeah, I think so. You're right.
I know we didn't get them all, but
Right, got some of them.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
all right. So the current budget position is that we currently have a deficit of 4.37 million. And that was as of the November 19th report. Again, 1.1 million is being recommended from fund balance to handle the capital requests. We still need to make a couple of revisions to the budget, such as the 80,000 for the Hill Act, and then the 11,750, and then we have a couple of other miscellaneous items to still modify. But again, I'm not anticipating that we're gonna reach the 107,000 that we are short to even get to the 12.49%. So our remaining gap is 3.3 million. If the desire of the board is to stay below a double-digit levy, we need 745,000 further adjustments. We already touched on the fund balance. We included the levy scenarios within the board packet. And again, we used 2025's data because we don't have the distribution of what the levy may be for 2026, so I wasn't able to provide that. So again, just a reminder on the sales tax for the jail. We budgeted 1.3 million. Year to date, we have 856,000 in. We're still projecting a shortfall of 260,000. I did put in the packet, the departments are preparing the costing sheets. And again, they're draft at this point, but I wanted to show you the efforts that the leadership team is working on to provide you that analysis about services and the cost per service.
What does one of those look like? What are they analyzing?
Well, so if we go,
Was there something in here?
yep, there's quite a few. Let me flip to in this abundance of pages.
Page 13. I think.
No, that's.
So it
Oh.
starts on page 306 of the county board packet.
Okay. Hold on, maybe I didn't, I thought that was maybe buried in the line item, was it?
No,
And when you throw that many pages,
I know, I'm sorry.
306?
Yes.
It's a spreadsheet.
You have to start with the county attorney.
A,
Yeah, I guess so.
I got mine. in
Start with
early,
A.
right? Right, okay. I got mine.
alphabetical.
Need some kind of glossary or index or something.
Well,
Oh, those, oh, that's what you're
Yeah.
referring to. Okay, yeah, I looked at those.
Mhm.
Yep.
Dwayne?
I'm sorry, Marcia. So
Yeah.
going back to what is page 13, you said that if the goal is to get to 9.99,
Yep.
there's still 745,000 need to be cut.
Correct.
If it's at 12.49, then what happens?
We have 107,000 to still work at. And again, we're gonna be able to get part of that. But we're not gonna reach the 107 unless we, establish like the efficiency line item in the budget, and then we come up with a game plan of how to make that difference.
Sure, there's two lines. Supplies, cut down a percentage. And the professional services and contracts. I would like to know how many things are hard, I know there's contracts for, like, somebody explained once, the heating
Yep.
systems or something. But how much, that's not all of it. So how much is soft money in just that one category that we couldn't cut? And then if you need more, you come back during the year. But I think it's always been a pet peeve of mine, that
I
professional
understand.
contract, it just seems like it's a black hole.
So
And they're not, are they consistent? I guess from department to department, are there consistent rationales? What goes into that category?
I'm not gonna say 100% because I cannot attest to that.
Sure.
But what I do want to remind the board is that there has been a push for departments to contract for things instead of hiring personnel. So you're going to see an increase because they're going that route. And I'll use a perfect example. Health and Human Services has grants. Instead of hiring people to perform those functions, they're contracting for the professional service, okay? So is it hard and fast? Do they have to do it? No. But if we're going to provide services that are not provided by our immediate internal staff, you're going to have those contracts.
Well, I think we need to evaluate, and again.
I
the
don't
board's on
disagree. There
different-
are some that we can polish.
Right, there's, and I know this board is on different philosophical issues of what government should be doing. And when I was looking at those inventory of mandate core functions and everything, when I see, you know, I would, and I know there's a push, I've been talking to county commissioners across the state,
Mhm.
things are kind of changing. The attitude is that all these mandates come with not the appropriate funding.
Yep.
So, two things, we either say, they're gonna give us a grant, we don't want it. You know, keep it. We're not
Mhm.
gonna do that. We're not gonna do that job because we're not gonna tax our local people
Mhm.
X number of dollars to do it.
Right.
Or we take that grant and we prorate it for the year and we do as much as we can with it, but that's it. We don't go above and beyond because property taxes are just unsustainable. And everybody is, well, what is it, $1 billion in the state of Minnesota or something?
Mm.
Can't keep happening. So when, in opinion, so when I see these, and I do appreciate, you know, you have non-levy funding source, and levy amount and total costs and such. So I would really like staff to look at those things where we've got a big levy amount that
Mhm.
justifies the program.
Yep.
And stuff, and just say, hey, maybe we only provide this much, you know, $500,000 worth of service versus us kicking in extra money. I don't know what it would look like, but
So the leadership team is already reviewing, even though it is a mandated program or service, it's at what level are we performing it? We have to meet what is the standard or expectation under the statute or laws. However, going how far above is another question. So we've already had the conversation and they are working on that.
so what's the penalty if we don't follow the mandate? Enough of us in the state of Minnesota just say, hey, forget it. We can't do it anymore. What's gonna be the penalty?
Well, isn't,
Uh,
in some cases, our reimbursement level weighed by
How much we do?
how much time we put into it and the staff allocated to it?
Correct.
Mhm.
So if we can bill for 15 minutes, or how many times can we bill for services per month? Part of it also is determined by how many FTEs we have working and the number of cases per person. It can drive our reimbursement rate down if we have too high of caseloads. There's a lot of analysis that is going into all of these, but that's all going to take time to fine tune. But they are working on it.
So they can find the sweet spot.
Yes. But again, part of that is it could take a year and a half for some of these actually to flow through and hit our financials. Because I'll use the targeted case management as an example. They only review the rates once a year. So if they just reviewed them and we make changes, we're not going to see that for at least another year and a half actually hit our financials. And that, we asked if we could get that reviewed once we had more staff. And we were told very point blank, no.
So there's a lag in the,
When they only performed the review of our caseload once a year.
Okay.
And some of the programs, it's every other year. So that's where it really is important that we stay on top of our FTEs.
so even
In
if
those
we've
areas.
increased the level of FTEs, we won't see that return for, well, until the first billing cycle, maybe.
Well, potentially of the year in which our new rates hit.
Right.
And
Yeah.
who said that? Somebody at Department of Human Services?
Yes.
Well, I would go over there up to the legislature because I'm constantly, seems like the feeding our children, they got their money really fast and they spent it and we got all this fraud going on. I mean, it just,
Yep.
it's
I
unacceptable.
hear you and we're working on it, but it's going to take time.
So on this inventory, There's a lot of lines that have no data.
Yes,
Does that mean we hadn't do it yet?
right.
Okay.
It's a work in progress. Again, I wanted to show you what we're working on.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, it's a draft, but I wanted you to see that they are working on providing this cost analysis for you.
So, and just not like, don't take it personally here. I'm just.
Yeah, I sent mine in it by direction of, you know, Ms.
What
Hold
page are
here.
you looking at, Commissioner Myers?
306. Okay, so city of St. Charles
Trooper.
prosecution mandated, no. Core function, yes. Contract 8,000 non-levy funding, okay, so,
We do their municipal prosecution,
okay.
and I have never changed that for 15 years because I feel it's a public service, but. And we
Yeah.
actually do their felonies as part of the county money.
But if we didn't do it, who would do it?
Well, they would contract with a private law firm, but
To be prosecutor for them.
to be prosecutors for them, right? Mhm.
Fascinating. I'm not saying we shouldn't, I'm just trying to understand what
Right.
it means. So that's
Right.
accurate. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
So
Yeah.
you feel they're getting a real sweet deal.
Well, you can see how much it costs per case. I
That's not very
estimated
much,
that.
220.
That's what I'm saying.
There's not very much.
You know, it isn't, but a lot of those are ones that we can, resolve relatively quickly. The felony ones, on the other hand, again, that's from the levy funding, because we're by law required to prosecute felonies for, all through the county,
So we
as
just,
well as non-city misdemeanors and, gross misdemeanor.
this is fabulous. When it gets done, it'll be amazing.
It'll be a valuable
Yeah.
tool.
Where did you, where did you gather the grid?
Actually, we used it in 2014 and I just modified it to be more specific because we didn't drag it out to the point of, specifying levy, non-levy and the actual cost per service. And so I added that
Okay.
part of it.
Okay.
Do you think this will be done for us next year from by budget time?
Oh, for sure.
Cool. This would be
Yeah.
great.
Because I know they always reference some, a document similar to this from Washington County.
I would
Yes.
give us a lot more ability to choose things. I
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I think it also will be an educational tool.
Would have request that somehow we make it a larger font.
I'll give it consideration.
Bigger pieces of paper, yeah.
It's difficult to read. At least
know.
with an Apple product, you can kind of, you can expand
Yeah.
it. But each of those columns do have value.
I think this would be great.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll get there. Again, it's a work in progress. I just wanted to show that we're working on it.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So I realized that, the wheelage tax is not necessarily something the county board has asked to talk about, but I wanted to at least put it out there as an option. It is something that is utilized in other counties. Again, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just bringing it forward as an option.
I know a number, you do say that,
We're the only one that doesn't.
but there's a number of them that don't have the sales tax either because they just don't
That's
have a
true.
sales tax. Like Houston County, they just don't have a sales tax, a retail center to collect sales tax. So they went with the wheelage. a number of
Speaking
years
for
ago.
myself only, I think $20 is too much, but maybe $5. I
Okay.
mean, is this,
No, I think our license and tabs are way too expensive in the state of Minnesota to start with.
agreed? And,
And
but
huge.
if you, I guess Maureen and Phil, so if $20 would generate 840,000, 1/4 of that would generate 1/4 of that income, is that correct?
That would be my best estimate.
Can you help me with that, Phil? Is that $210,000?
So divide 840 by,
0.25 or times by 0.25? I agree, everything, taps,
Right.
especially my wife's damn car, yep.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it is just another tax, right?
Yep.
So
Right.
it's not magic, it's just maybe not as noticeable, so, I mean,
I don't like the idea. I think it's referenced though that, okay, and this would be a dedicated tax. It goes right to the road. But then you're saying road and bridge fund could be reduced to create. You can't keep reducing road and bridge because our roads
It
and
would be,
bridges
it
cost
would
more.
be replenished though when the tax comes in. So
Well, most of my constituents would say, if you're gonna collect another tax for roads and bridges, you better leave what you got there already and then add this to it, because our roads are falling apart.
the concept was to be able to address the levy
Levy,
issue in
yes,
twenty
I understand.
26 and then replenish it in 2027 when the funds come in, or 2028.
And we already have a sales tax helping with roads and bridges, primarily paid
Yes.
for by city residents.
Well, anybody that comes shopping, hopefully all those Wisconsinites and
Those $3.4 million bridges in Elba. Not a lot of my residents are driving on that road to throw it back at you.
they like to go to that great
Yeah.
state park that doesn't pay
Yeah.
us enough taxes. Property ownership and such.
And in regards to that half-cent sales tax, have we, for the statute, kept up with our end of it by statutorily increasing the amount of taxes levied toward road and bridges? We can't use that to supplant,
Yeah,
Inflationary costs.
we've maintained the 500,000.
maintain the same amount, so we are not,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah, that's.
I'd have to double check, but I,
They're skating on thin ice, so
They
you'll tell the county
don't know
attorney
that
that,
we-
but she might have heard
It's
that.
on the screen now.
I'm sorry?
Dave is on the screen now, Dave Kramer,
Oh,
if you want to.
Dave, can you answer that question?
You'd have to ask for permission,
To get unmuted?
yeah.
Yeah.
Does he know that?
Heidi's.
It might take a minute.
Let's circle back.
But
then.
we haven't
Okay.
increased the road and bridge by any great amounts,
No.
but have we decreased it?
No.
No, I think it's pretty status. Luckily, we got the sales tax to.
We'll look into that, but if Dave does get unmuted, he can.
Well, I know that originally I voted against that, but I thought as long as we maintained an, COLA increase, cost of something every year to that fund,
Mhm.
so we're not supplanting it with the sales tax, which is what we are not statutorily supposed to do.
Okay, well, we'll come back if Dave can get unmuted. Otherwise, we'll look into it and get back to the board.
And I mean, I don't know if anyone else is interested in the idea of a $5 wheelage tax, et cetera. Versus a $20, but that would generate $210,000.
Bill, were you able to confirm? Is that estimate? Yep. Okay.
I'd say $200,000 is not a lot of money for the overhead of having to do it.
Pain and suffering of the
Yeah.
local taxpayer.
It's almost a percentage of the levy though.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
true.
I guess I would, before I would even consider it, I'd have to run it by some people,
Mhm.
constituents, like the township officer group would be a really good one to.
Okay. Well, again, I thought it was worth at least putting on the table for
Sure.
discussion.
Yep.
Okay,
You didn't have that apple pie sale,
no,
no?
Were you-
Sit in the
Were
corner
you
and
making the
bake-
pie?
Yeah, we're gonna sit in the corner and bake apple pies, revenue in
You
hand.
don't want me to. It wouldn't be a revenue enhancement.
I was telling Miss Holte before the meeting started that at the high school, there was a fundraiser to raise money for a food shelf, and the 3 teachers that raised the most got a pie in the face. I had to go home and take a shower today.
In the face.
So how about if we have a fundraiser where pies
whipped
go in
cream.
certain county commissioners' faces and $10 a pop or whatever else?
sign me up.
For the least amount.
There'd be a long line from the staff.
Yeah, we had a dunk tank once at a employee
The county
picnic.
fair.
No, we were out at Goodview at LeCane Park and we had
Oh,
a
yeah.
dunk tank. and I
I'm
was
just saying
sat in
that
that
one,
dunk
one,
tank.
one county fair, I was in the dunk
Dunk
tank
tank
and they were
for the-
raising money for
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
I think it was.
$10 a pop for
Okay, so in the interest of time, I'm
Yeah.
gonna move along
Yep.
because I do need some direction from the board. So in the packet, we outlined the items that are already underway. As part of that was the license center potential privatization. Again, in the board packet, I included the information that we previously provided the board. October 2023, I believe it's on page 322.
I actually asked about that. That seemed out of order, but then when you explained it, it makes sense because I was concerned why that popped up the way where it did.
So I just added the RFBA from that meeting as well as the information, the statute, just as a refresher that, this is what our research, provided when we looked at that in 2023.
So something different that you said this time, which would make all the difference to me. I think it's a big convenience for residents of the city of Winona to have a licensed bureau here. And when we talked about this before, there was no guarantee. So
Mhm.
maybe the closest one would be Rochester or Wabasha. But this time, what you said to us is there'll have to be one in the county. If there is one in the county, my guess is they're gonna put it in the center of population, which is in the city of Winona. So it sounds like there would still be one in the city of Winona.
If they find someone who will apply to take it. Because there's an application process.
Sure, otherwise there might not be one at all.
Correct.
Yeah, and that I wouldn't want to see, but I'd be willing to consider it. Because I feel like something's gotta give.
But aren't there convenience fees that they could charge in addition to just the tab fees? There are other charges that a private entity could do.
That we
A
can't,
private entity,
that
but
we can't?
not the government.
Where it can become a even bigger burden on our citizens.
So they
to-
have to pay more
They
Oh, I
have to
see
pay
what you're
more
saying.
for the convenience of going to this private establishment.
because the state is not reimbursing enough
Right.
for the thing to break even. Okay,
But there is.
And then we're also,
line.
on one hand, we're looking at the LEC
Yep.
reconfiguration, when it's vacated,
Yep.
that would change the outlook on that too.
Well, again,
Right.
this is part of why I'm asking that the board have ongoing working sessions to talk about the financial stability of budgeting. Um, we tend to be reactionary instead of having a plan for how we're gonna handle these things that are coming down the pike for us. A prime example is the LEC. We need to be planful about whether the PD stays or goes. But we should have a plan about how we're gonna use that space. What can we use it for is the bigger question. And I think we need to move forward with the Klein and McCarthy proposal because it provides an option of we can choose one or the other, or we could do both analysis depending on what we find out from the city. Now, I did talk to Mr. Ubel today, and he did share with me that on the December 1st city agenda, they will be approving a BKV contract to do the design of a police and fire facility at the school. They do not have a contract to sign or to purchase the school yet. But again, they're moving ahead with a design. And Chad was very open in saying that, we should be planning as well.
Who owns that school? School
I-
district?
I
No.
couldn't tell you, I don't
Private.
know.
yeah.
Oh, that got bought privately?
Mr. Meyer or what?
Nisbet and Buyer.
Yeah,
Okay, so it was sold a number of years ago. Okay.
but Buyers, yeah, Meyer,
So what I'm trying to say is that we should be planning.
100%.
So again, that's why I'm recommending that board does approve the Klein McCarthy agreement.
Yep.
Okay. But again, I want to have further discussion on the license center at a different meeting, but I wanted to put it out there and give you the information so you have time to process and ask questions. And I do encourage the county board to reach out. Let me know if you have questions on any of these items to future information, et cetera, so that we can be more planful moving forward. I am recommending that
I
we,
apologize. I just
Yep.
want to add that I agree with what Chris said in terms of it makes a big difference if
Mm-hmm.
it can be has to be in accounting. And I also agree with Greg is
Yeah.
that when you have more time with the staff to look at different options about what opens up over there.
yes,
So
But we have what, 5 FTEs I asked you the other day at the license center, right?
I'm pretty sure we have 5
And that's-
clerks, yeah. 5 stations, workstations.
And see, my end of the county can go to the city of La Crescent. I mean, so you do have, and you had Wabasha, and then you do have Olmsted, so
Yep.
you're not restricted to your county, I
Right.
understand
Mhm.
the convenience, but then again,
Those are,
you didn't
Oh.
be able to used to do everything over the
They would
Yep.
probably have
mail
better
either.
benefits.
better benefits. than they
Than
would.
something that a private vendor would probably not have as good benefits for.
Say that I had, my daughter was going to, and they've moved it, a place in St. Paul. And I mean, they had, it was huge, it was big, of course, you know, the population of like a major, I mean, she got in and out of there so quick and fast. I mean, and she didn't pay anything extra. It was very efficient.
That's the most important, is the quality of the service and the speed
Yeah.
of the service,
It
which
depends
we
on
are
who's
not.
running it.
Control.
Yep.
Right.
So
Right, but a
again,
private
in the
entity is
interest
gonna
of
wanna
time,
do a
I'm
good
going to
service.
ask that we move along.
Thank you.
We're coming up
Thank-
on time
yeah.
here.
Great.
So some items,
Please.
We also want to consider the vital records. I have people in the license center deputized. They're able to do, for example, birth record at that location. And you'll remember it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. We were getting a lot of comments from the public because they were running back and forth. And we worked that out. So if we're gonna go private.
Yep.
We need to run that past the county attorney. We need to. take
Yep.
a close look at that
Thanks.
too.
think about.
All right, thank you.
So some other items that I do recommend is that we do a comprehensive IT systems analysis. All the programs that we're using and how often are they used and do we still need them? So if we can cancel some, combine them, et cetera. So just kind of an overview.
Can we
also-
share with any of our neighboring counties? I never feel we totally use all this software and everything that we've bought over the years to its, more to its maximum than it's,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I hear what you're saying.
yeah,
Fleet leasing analysis, whether or not going with enterprise is still the best, most effective, efficient method.
yeah.
And then also looking at our organizational structure. So I'm not asking the board to give cuts per se, but I am asking for direction on the levy. And the reason is so that we can then determine, sorry about that. Determine what paperwork we need to prepare for the actual upcoming county board meetings where you'll set the actual levy. And then for auditor, treasurer, and finance to certify the levy. So we have some work to do, but I also would like to understand what degree we are facing of potential additional modifications. So thoughts on levy?
I asked you one thing over the phone on one of our morning chats. My mornings with Marie and I. I have 50 minutes of dedicated time to with her every morning, but she has.
I wouldn't go
latte.
that far.
What the cost would be for a $250,000 house. I see you included that, so.
Yes,
That is something that I can sit and talk to somebody about.
How many $250,000 homes do we have in Winona? County?
Well, that's, I think, about the average.
Is it?
Bob, is that,
It-
is that the median or
Seems
the
awfully
average?
low.
In
it's the average. but-
the best part of Winona,
Bob, is that
my
accurate?
district, that's probably,
Is the best part, you think it's the best part? You're,
that's the best part.
and I think the East End is the best.
That's kind of close to the hog line down there. So I just asked for that, so that's about $50.
Increase.
Increase.
Yep, just in the, okay, but what would this
That's the,
school
just the,
district?
that's what we have control of. So that's all I asked for, just a number to ponder that I can have a conversation with people about, so that helped, thank you.
Mhm.
Well, I haven't gotten my Winona County taxes, proposed taxes yet, but I know several other counties, it's hundreds of dollars increase. And again, I look at, yes, the only thing we have control over, but we send it out and then when people open it up, they get school district, city and county. And you know, what, I think it's mandatory, but man, we got the gall to put the percentage of increase in the bottom left, right-hand corner. And that really gets people's blood pressure when it's double-digit % increase. What, do we have to put that on there? I mean,
I
just
don't know the rules on that.
it's just an irritant for the people. Yeah, they can see the number and they could calculate it, but when we boldly put it in there, how much everything's increasing. it hurts when people open it up,
Of course it does.
you know?
So thoughts on levy, please? I need.
I
guidance.
will never vote for a double digit increase and I just can't, I won't. And I always said I would hope you could get it down to, one hand, and that's even too high. Because I understand you've worked on this and everything, but where have we really, we say our expenditures are over our revenue, but where have we looked to make efficiencies or boldly make cuts? I don't see that we've been able to do that. And maybe I'm living in a la la land to figure out the government at some point will. But I know, like I say, to talk to commissioners all across the state and everybody's faced with this same thing. And a lot of it's projected from the state and the feds. But it just, we can't keep doing this to our people. I've got a lot of people on fixed income and they can't do it anymore. Or they don't see the value in the taxes. And then we always keep raising the values of the property.
We
and
don't
even-
raise the values. The market.
The market, well, it's the
market.
system. I
Yeah.
guess it's the
Yeah,
tax.
we have no control.
So one of the things I would like is what have we done what's our tax capacity? Because I see a lot of new buildings in the city of Winona. We got some, but did the city give a lot of TIFs out? I don't know. And then even in my, I'll be very curious in the township level, because I got probably a half dozen new, $500,000 homes in my township. So that's a much smaller scale. Will I see, much of an increase, but that doesn't happen till. So what's our housing market changed, our commercial changed, and
But we could probably get an.
have you got that, Chris? You probably.
I have the tax capacity spreadsheet.
I thought I emailed it out to the board.
It's a couple years old.
Yeah, I don't have anything current, but I mean,
What I can tell you is, when you look at that chart that Micah puts out, that there's only 3 counties in the state of Minnesota that have a lower per capita levy than we do.
Mhm.
Anoka, Washington, and Dakota County. So we are nowhere near our tax capacity.
I'll be quick and just say that, so just double checking, a 12.49% increase would result in a $50 increase on a $250,000 house. That's a large increase, but there will be others coming for sure, but it hurts this, but
Yeah.
I will be, and hopefully we can still get it down some, especially with a $5 or $7 wheel tax, but I would be okay with 12.49%. I don't want to look for another $700,000 in cuts
Mhm.
at this point, in addition to what you've already done, because there have been 4.8 FTEs, and I do think there's actually value in the case that you described once, Maureen, about how it's penny wise and pound foolish not to hire some staff if it would result in positive cash flow. It might take a year for it to be acknowledged, to happen. But no,
And I may come forward after additional conversations with leadership to say, I do recommend X in order for us to have that outcome. Because it is a process issue. And if we don't have the right number of staff to do the work, then we're not going to get the
Yep.
revenue.
So just speaking for myself, the quick version is I would be okay. It's difficult, and hopefully we still get it down a little bit before the final with
Mhm.
the start, the
Yep.
12.49.
what, I did ask you, and I don't know if and maybe you answered it. So a number of years ago, we used to do the food licensing inspections, for the state,
Yes.
and we turned that back to the
Yep.
state. What else? The only one that comes to mind maybe is feedlot, that we don't have to have our own local, we could turn that back to the state.
That's the only
I
one
know
that
we've
I
got
could think
something.
of.
Is there any other thing we can turn back to the state?
Wells,
Oh,
well permitting.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess we should analyze if we can my opinion, if we can turn it back to the state, we should be looking at that and what the savings would be. I don't know.
And in some cases, maybe it isn't even savings, maybe we
Yeah.
make money off of
Yeah.
it. But that is exactly what those spreadsheets that are buried in there,
Right,
that's exactly
Right.
what.
But I can't wait a year and a half.
Chris and Greg, where are you guys at? You know where Marshall's at, you know where I'm at.
yep.
I think in my mornings with Marine, I have said I wanted a single digit, but then I said I was softening on that because we had additional costs come in after we set the preliminary, costs that we could not anticipate, costs that were not known. So I'm softer than I was.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, that-
that I would consider that more strongly. But it should be a little less.
Okay.
As I was going through the packet today and I was looking at the previous budget conversations and those sheets. And I came across the sheet that Micah had prepared for us of the cost shifts that were done by the state legislature to counties. You know, including all these cost shifts for health and human services and
Especially the act.
Yes.
yes,
That out of
and
it.
that isn't even part of it. And then they cut our county program aid.
Mhm.
And they're putting together this task force. And if they can't find, I don't know, 50 million or 75 million in savings, they're going to shift the rest of us next year.
Yeah,
So,
that's a,
so you know, I frequently tell people our levy has more to do with what happens in the state legislature than what happens
And in
right
DC,
here
and in
around
DC.
this board table. Yeah. So I especially take to heart, I mean, 12.5 is a heck of a lot. I don't like that. It makes me very grumpy. But as I look at what's going to happen to us next year, and I look at our position in terms of having such low per capita tax rates right now, and that makes what happens to us more volatile because we don't have a lot of money to play with. So yeah, I will support it if it comes to that. I would love to see it go lower. But I really do feel like costs are being shifted onto us. And I think it's gonna get worse. I think it's gonna get worse in terms of homelessness. I think there's gonna be more cost shifts just as a result of a lot of legislation that's going on right now. So
I think Phil's gonna figure it out in the next week.
I sure as heck hope he does.
yeah. But tax capacity per population is, in my thinking, it doesn't relate to property taxes. The state of Minnesota has income tax and inheritance tax and all these other things that are dependent on, hey, you work hard, you make a lot of money, yes, you're going to pay X percent. But property taxes has no relationship to, you know, paying more and more and more. The question I have is, how did we get, and now you say in excess, the fund balance is anticipated to have approximately 2.25 million excess at the end of the year. How did we come up with that?
It was originally anticipated 3.5 million, so
But okay, so
I can attest to that because Mr. Elliott did that. So I don't know how we came up with the 3.5 million.
well, it sounds like if we got money in the savings and everything, but then we're just still spending too much. One of the, and I know you got those sheets and everything, just a real quick conversation with Josh this afternoon, like planning and zoning. Okay, so we got all these people building houses and doing projects and everything,
Mhm.
but the planning and zoning budget still is heavily local property tax supported. So I don't know how much you raised the fee, because I know they spend a lot of time and energy in getting somebody to a point where they can build. I mean, I guess I'm a fee for service type of thing. If somebody wants to do something and say it's a house and you got a 30-year mortgage, you know, what's a couple $1,000s on a 30-year mortgage versus asking all the neighbors to chip in to get that house built? Because like I said, when I go to my, we're close to done. When I go to my township, I'll get a better feeling that how much, because in theory, you know, if you build more houses, you're spreading the burden out, but it never seems to stabilize. It just seems to grow. And I mean,
So just for reference, Planning and Environmental Services Director, Mr. Dunsmore, did review the fee schedule and will be recommending increases in fees.
Thank you.
Again, that's
Attaboy,
gonna be-
Ross.
it's going to be up to the county board to make a decision on that, but
and I don't
just
know
so
how
you're
much we
aware,
can raise the
we
fee,
asked
but-
Knock
all
down
the
the 9 by
leadership
9.
to review it. So that'll be forthcoming.
Okay, I don't know
Thank
how much we can raise, but I mean, again, we can't ask everybody to support new kids on the block. The new kids on the block got to support themselves a little bit more. in my opinion.
Okay.
Stuff. And we got this new staff person and she's under the gun, right? To find a whole bunch of savings and efficiencies, and
He's working very diligently and doing a
Alright.
great job.
we expect, I'm sorry.
All
right. I will, well, I can add it up though too. maybe Bill can run me, what's the total on professional and contract services and the total on supplies?
So
This budget,
those
this,
reports were just sent.
or they, I mean, these line item budget, there's so many inconsistencies in that format. And I tried to, I played your game, give me a few of these and I just played a little bit of game with you and such, but some are zero, some are, and there's,
A little
it's
bit of game.
inefficient.
I didn't consider that a game,
It-
Commissioner.
Yeah,
it-
that was
it-
like
it-
600 pages.
That line item budget is very, I think, inefficient. I don't know how you
Welcome
make
to
it.
my world.
Although spreadsheets are much better in comparison, yeah.
Yes, okay,
Are we adjourned?
yes,
Yeah.
we will,
Yep.
we're adjourned with the working session. We will call to order the county board. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hopefully, everybody's got their snow shovels and their ice scrapers and make sure you got a scraper in your car. Because the weather's gonna be changing in the next few days and everybody traveling, we want them to be safe and ready to go. All right, with that, we will open our county board meeting as we do with the public comment. Is there anyone here wishing to address the county board? You have 2 minutes and I ask you to state your name and address for the record.
Commissioner Ward, do we need to let people online know that do they know that they? need
Yeah, they have to be
Choose
admitted.
Started
It may
screen
take,
sharing.
how did they do that? Did they raise their? We just lost all the little pictures.
Yeah.
Heidi,
that's-
have we got anybody online that wants to address the Winona County Board?
How would we know? Would we know? Would Heidi know?
Heidi would know.
Okay.
I
thank
don't
you.
even know.
Just as long as
I see.
if they want to get through. I apologize.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, there's a lot of names up there. Is there anybody online wishing to address the Winona County Board? And last time, is there anyone in the audience or online wishing to address the Winona County Board?
It's a rough looking crowd out there right now.
Okay, all right.
Is that hand raised? Pine Creek Farms?
Oh, there is that hand, yeah. Pine Creek,
Heidi?
Oh, isn't that the little mouse?
or is that, I don't know.
Oh, I think it's our mouse.
That, somebody wave.
Commissioners, everyone has the ability to unmute and speak if they choose.
Okay, so you don't have anybody, Heidi?
No, not at this time that is unmuted, but they do have the ability to unmute.
Okay, all right.
And yes, that was my little hand up here.
Okay, all right. All right, last time, anyone wishing to address the Winona County Board? I see no little hands on the board. And is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the Winona County Board? Okay, seeing no one, step forward. We'll move on to our agenda. Item 4, approval of the county board meeting minutes from November 12th, 2025.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Vagley, second by Commissioner Meyer to approve the meeting minutes of November 12th, 2025. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They approved. Item 5, acknowledge Economic Development Authority, August 11th, 2025. Meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve that 5.1.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Vagley, seconded by Commissioner Olson to acknowledge the approved committee meeting minutes from the Economic Development Authority, August 11th, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, approved. Let me just get caught up on flipping my pages here. Sure. Lost it, and it goes back.
Oh, because it's down at 438.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, but it's board back, problem repeated. Okay, well,
I have a
Here,
paper
here.
copy. Do you want mine?
I have the agenda.
Okay.
I always copy the agenda, but I'll hopefully get it back here. Okay. Consent comments and approval of the agenda. Attorney Sonneman,
Nothing for me, thank you.
okay, Commissioner Vagley,
The comments and a request for a possible future board action. And I guess this is a question for Ms. Holte and Ms. Sonneman. We want to table item 8.8, the homeless shelter, for more time for staff to review.
I think it's appropriate,
yeah, we can now or when we get to it.
Oh, either way's fine. Either way's okay.
whatever you desire.
I guess maybe when we get to it, it
Okay.
seems
Okay.
like it would be more.
Sounds good.
Commissioner-
Otherwise, okay. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Commissioner Olson,
Nothing for me.
Commissioner Meyer,
I just have a report.
okay. Administrator Holty,
Nothing for me.
okay, and I'll have one report and a request just for communication. Okay, and I would like to pull 7.7 for a little additional clarity and direction. And so we'll make that 8.0. And 7.8, I have a couple questions on that. So we'll make that 8.05, if we could, please. All right, so two changes there.
I'll move to approve the agenda as it was modified.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Meyer, second by Commissioner Olson to approve the agenda as modified. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, approved. Ms. Holte, would you read the consent business, please?
7.1, approve LG 220 gambling application for exempt permit Winona Sportsman's Club. 7.2, approve LG 220 gambling application for exempt permit Snow Sports Snowmobile Club. 7.3, approve renewal of purchase of service and business associate agreements with Midwest Monitoring. 7.4, approve purchase of service and business associate agreements with Family Service Rochester Incorporated. 7.5, approve professional services and business associate agreements with Melissa McLaren for professional consultation and reflective supervision. 7.6, approve Minnesota Department of Human Services grant contract for children's mental health screening. 7.7 was pulled. 7.8 was pulled. 7.9, accept donation of Recon Scout robot kit for Sheriff's Office, and 7.10, confirm payment of disbursements.
I'll move to approve the consent items.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Vagley, second by Commissioner Olson to approve the consent business. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, approved. So then going to 7.7 on page 524. And the question, we have two, as I understood it, we have like two options to give staff some direction, yes? Is that how I read that in the Klein McCarthy? On page 525, the study will include the following two options in a systematic sequential. So are you going to ask them to do both of those?
It depends on the response that we get from the city.
And how soon? So it seems like I'm putting the cart before the horse. How soon will we know? I don't know. I'm sorry. I think the city has kind of led us along for considerable amount of time. I mean, and we put this off, we've put it off. It costs us all money because we've got a facility that we're not maximizing the usage of, we're yet maintaining it, but then we aren't maintaining it, so it is somewhat deteriorating too, because it isn't being
Right.
used. So I'm a little concerned about how quick we do something like this. So do you know how soon the city will,
How soon the city will make a decision?
right, or how long of a lease are we, we lease it to them space now?
So I am waiting for a modified lease agreement from the city. I talked with Chad Ubel earlier today. The proposed lease will have a notice of exit for us to provide to the city, 180-day notice to exit the building should the county decide to use it for other purposes. Because I don't have a concrete timeline of what the city will or won't do, but I was very open with Mr. Ubel that the county has to plan. We have some very serious increases of things that are going to be put on the county in the next year or two. And we need to seriously consider whether or not we're going to bring things back into our owned facilities. And he was very good about it, understands. And so I am anticipating to bring a lease that provides the ability to have them exit as needed.
Okay, well, option one was still the way I'm reading it is a co-location option. Do I really need to spend time, energy, and money to
So the intent,
consider a co-location?
right, but this was written intentionally to provide, regardless of what way we go, we have the contract, we're ready to go, let's go. So that I can get information back to the board.
Okay, so I'm not deciding here right now today if we're doing a co-locate or we're doing a separate.
No.
Okay, if you're not tying my hands in that, then I can unfortunately
We have the option. to
accept
pick
the
what-
idea of hiring a highly professional.
The thing is we
plan.
cannot provide the information that the board needs until we have someone who has the expertise to tell us what we can do with the building. We don't have that internally.
I think
Okay.
Commissioner Ward's clarification was an important one, and I agree. With that information, I'll move to approve what had formerly been item 7.7 and
Second.
became 8.0, I believe.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Vagley, second by Commissioner Olson to approve signing a professional agreement with Klein McCarthy, yet to be determined which avenue we take.
We will consult prior to moving
Okay.
forward.
All
I
right,
just
all
want
the-
us to be ready to go.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, approved. All right, thank you. 7.8, it was approved professional service agreement with Soil and Water Conservation District for feedlot program manure management plans. And this, and I do see, okay, Ross is here. A couple questions. So this is anything over 300 animal units is mandated to have a manure management plan?
Correct. It's a new requirement.
And how many feedlots do we have that don't have theirs done? You know?
Our last count was about 43 is what I believe Brian had. 46.
I'm sorry, can you come on up so we can all hear? So how many in total 300 animal unit feedlots do we have?
We have 46 in
46
Winona
in the
County.
county, okay.
So the way that manure management plans work in the feedlot program is they start at the beginning of September and they go through till the end of August the next year. Although just with how things are done in the real world, a lot of folks, go by their previous year's manure management plan for their current fall application. So a lot of the plans for 25-26 likely aren't done yet, and they're also in the midst of changing from an Excel spreadsheet to an online tool, which has increased the need for the technical assistance to help people move from that old system to the new one.
Okay. And so we have, you said 43 that aren't done yet?
43 total, 300 plus sites.
Oh, I thought you said 46. No.
46, excuse me. Yeah.
46.
I don't have a number for how many are not done. They're not required to submit them to me. I can request anyone that I choose, or if I'm going out for an inspection at a larger site, then I'll usually request to see their manure management plan. But yeah, it is a requirement of Rule 7020 to have that on file.
Okay, so does the soil and water, I don't see anybody, is anybody online? Can they get this done for these people in a time? This has,
Looks
there's
to me like Wanda's.
20, does it have to be done? Oh, the whole next year, 2026. Is that how I understand it?
I'll let you take that one.
Funding, under funding.
Correct. We had talked with the Pollution Control Agency and they had said we have through
It had to be done yet
2026.
This year, and I didn't think that was physically possible.
And that's why we also provided for, when we brought this to committee of the board, Commissioner Elsing had expressed interest in having the option to fund cover crops. If we find as we're going through this, we still have excess funds. So we put some contingencies in there for for if for some reason we don't have the interest and we're not limited just to the 300 plus. We can go under um, and assist facilities under that as well. If we find that there's funding remaining, so that we've assisting our producers and doing productive things with the funding.
Mr. Vaguely.
I believe this was discussed once before, as just a general discussion item, and this is something that would generally benefit our farmers.
Right.
So I'll make a motion just to get it on the table, and we can still discuss it further to approve what had been item 7.8.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Vaguely, second by Commissioner Meyer, to approve the agreement with Soil and Water Conservation for feedlot program, management plans plus, I guess. So Soil and Water is always looking for quote administrative dollars. So what do they get out of doing a manure management plan for doing it? Do they get so much an hour or so much a plan? For
Correct.
revenue?
The contract provides for up to $85 an hour. Soil and Water is still adjusting their billable rate for 2026. So we provided for a contingency up to $85 an hour.
Okay.
And
So
with
we are
that,
giving them, so my point is that we are giving them opportunities to earn more money. I mean, they all want more money. We've just given them an opportunity to earn more money. Right? Okay.
correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried. I guess I would like to make sure that we get a report back before the end of 2026 as to how many of these they accomplished, if this is a requirement. Maybe midsummer or something, see where they're at and make sure we get them done for the farmers. Thank you. Okay, moving into general business. 8.1, which is on page 539. Set a preliminary date for a public hearing in regards to cannabis.
Lower potency hemp edibles,
Yeah.
LPHE.
Yeah, this is going all over the place. I can't keep track of the federal government shut something down, and is that part of this or no?
We're-
This is just some
We're,
of the
we're,
state.
this is just state rules. So what happened with our original registration ordinance as well as the county zoning ordinance, we exempted low potency hemp edibles from many of the requirements. At this point, we will not need to schedule anything for the county zoning ordinance. We do have a clause in there that would allow us to be able to compensate for the lack of language specifically within the zoning ordinance, because it says we're going to comply with 342. And this is a newer interpretation coming out of OCM.
So we don't
so-
have to do.
Not for the zoning ordinance.
Oh,
The registration ordinance exempts lower potency hemp edibles. That one, we're going to have to do something because right now they've been operating under a registration under the old system. They had to apply for the new license under the new system, and that closed October 31st. So they are going to be shifting from a registration to a license. And then once the state licenses, we have to register them.
okay.
And right
And
now
this
we
is
exempt
very
them from that.
critical to the infrastructure of the great state of Minnesota to get this right, because it's supposed to be such a revenue enhancement opportunity for us all, yet to be seen.
Move to approve item 8.1.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Meyer, second by Commissioner Olson to approve to set, well, do we have to give it a date or you'll figure
Number
that?
11.
We have December 11th right now. Mr. Kranz is working on the language.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, December 11th, okay. All right, motion made by Commissioner Meyer, second by Commissioner Olson for the December 11th to be a public hearing. That's the regular scheduled county,
Mhm.
well, no, that's the one that's
That's
an
the
odd
next day.
time, right? That's a Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay, Thursday evening meeting. So if anybody that has interest, so they get the right time. So, okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. I mean, this is just a tip of the iceberg of things that the state of Minnesota puts so much emphasis on, and we got systems that are totally lacking of direction in our Department of Human Services and everything, so it's frustrating. 8.2, discuss and adopt resolution for the Commissioner 2026 salaries, page 540.
I would like to move to adopt resolution A, which is no increase in salary for the commissioners.
I'm going to ask if we should table this until Commissioner Elsing is here, or we could continue, I guess, with the first motion.
I think he's not here.
Okay.
He can't vote and such. Okay, so we have a motion to adopt resolution A, which would set the salary at the same level it has been. And that would be $24,236.69 annually, paid bi-weekly. I have a motion. Do I have a second? I'll second it. Further discussion. It's a public service job. Do you think we do this for fun? Oh, I get up and laugh every morning when I get to open my computer and read
Do it
government.
for the free coffee.
Free coffee. Used to get donuts every now and then, but we've cut that. We're healthier now.
A chair used to provide them.
It's true.
Any discussion? Okay, I guess then we move on to all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay?
Yeah.
Okay, 2-2. Hey, maybe we needed Commissioner Elson. Okay, the motion fails. Motion fails.
I'd like to move to table it until Commissioner Olson, I'm sorry, Commissioner Elsing is here.
I'll second that.
Okay, all right, we have a motion to table until we have the full board, including Commissioner Elson, discuss. All those in favor of tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay? Okay, it is tabled. So Ms. Holte, you'll put back on the next agenda
Yes,
because this has to be set before the end of the year,
Correct.
correct?
Yep.
Okay. All right, then moving on, 8.3. Discuss, modify, approve recommendation for County Sheriff 2026 compensation and approve resolution, page 544. Commissioner Bagley.
Commissioner Ward and Ms. Holte, could I make a motion to approve 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, and 8.6? And 8.6 was amended after the original, right?
Correct.
Can I make a motion to approve all those at once? That would just
Yes.
open up the discussion. We could have more discussion, et cetera. I'd like to make a motion to approve items 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, and what was the amended 8.6?
At the recommended salary?
Yes.
Second.
Wait, now, I don't know if I've got the most recent one or what. So, 8.6 was modified.
Yes.
Page 570.
I probably read the old one. Is it an increase?
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh.
That was my error.
Is it, I'm sorry, is it, 3%?
Yes.
Okay, so, we have a motion. Do we get a, Commissioner Bagley, do we have a second?
Olson.
Olson.
Okay, all right. Discussion. I will not support it.
I will support the motion.
Okay, I just don't, I've never liked the system that got started a long time ago where we compare our salaries to other counties. We are all individual counties. It takes into no consideration of the size of the county, the budget of the county, the population of the county, the land, the tax capacity of the county, and performance. I've been a very pay for performance advocate, and just because somebody gets more money, are they doing a better job? Doesn't always go hand in hand. I do appreciate that it is only 3%, but there again, 3% of $100,000 job is a lot more money than 3% of a $50,000 job. And we consider all our employees critical and important to the county work. And and again, as being professionals in this field of government administration, I just find it strange that you want to compare yourself to some other county when we don't have the knowledge of what that particular individual has done in that county. Not that you're doing a bad job, but I think last meeting, we approved the annual compensation of base of $8,000. When did that get passed? We did. We had to, that was
Yep.
by statute.
Yep.
So I mean, if you go 8,000 and then you start trying to build it up to over, over 100,000, boy, you gotta do a lot of stuff to get up to over $100,000. So I will not support. I think it's a flawed system. I don't think it gives due respect to the potential of pay for performance. And I do not like a percentage increase. It just, I think it's fair to people on a lower scale that still probably put as many, the hours and the work into doing our work. So, any other discussion?
I'd just like to thank the county sheriff, county attorney, the county recorder, the county auditor treasurer for the work that they do. Considering the years of experience and the folks we have, I think we're very blessed. So thank you for your service.
I second that.
It is probably not the time and energy, but at some point I do have some specific questions of each department, and I will pursue getting answers of some things that have been done over the year that I wouldn't consider excellent performance. I would question the performance, but that I will do that with each individual elected official. So we have a motion to approve 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, 8.6 of our elected county officers. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Nay. Okay, 4-1.
3-1.
3-1. Well, I guess I talked to Commissioner. I know it is. His thinking was, we did discuss, and I can talk to one. Okay, moving on to 8.7, discuss potential emergency donation to volunteer services and hometown resource center, page 577.
I brought this forward when the freeze happened at the beginning of November. It looks to me like the situation is resolved. The state has fully issued the November benefit. The federal government is apparently not going to come back to us and try to claw it back. So I think probably we can let this slide for now.
Okay, so no, recommending no action.
Yeah.
Did
Do you
you
want to,
motion?
me to make a motion?
You want a motion
I'll move that.
that we take no action?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Meyer, seconded by Commissioner Vagley to take no action on the Volunteer Services and Hometown Resource Center. I think we had some very good information. Attorney Sonneman had worked on things and everything, and we have a process, we have a policy. So if people want to, they need to follow our process and our policy. And like earlier I said, I did appreciate some of those organizations providing some of that tax information, so we get an idea of what, where they're at and what their funding is and everything. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, no action. And Commissioner Vagley.
I'd like to
Comments?
just make a motion to table at item 8.8
Oh,
to
that's right.
allow, I'm sorry.
Yes, yes.
Yep, to allow staff more time to review and review the recommendation. Is that a way
To review the whole request.
Right.
I think that's a fair statement.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to table discussion of contribution to a homeless shelter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, tabled. All right, now committee reports. Commissioner Vagley.
A couple comments and then a request. This deals with the two shelters in town. This is me speaking as a private citizen. There, I'm not a county commissioner. I was on the steering committee of the Warman Center 2018, 2021, when I was not a county commissioner. I don't speak there as a county commissioner. I just want to share some more good news in this season, the holiday season. I'm one of the people who's going out and visiting with different groups in the community. Last week, myself and 3 others went to Pleasant Valley Church. We were hoping to get 6 to 10 people to show up to learn more about how to volunteer. We had almost 40 people show up. So it warms my heart that there are people in the community that want to hear more and learn more about other ways to help people. The more volunteers, the more community involvement we can get, the better the services are for everybody. I'd also like just to request a second to add to a future committee of the board, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, to discuss some kind of allocation to the Ripple Drug Awareness Organization, et cetera. So we received an email, the board did, from Malia Fox. I'd like to consider at a future committee of the board, to discuss some kind of allocation, for the Ripple Drug Awareness, if I'm saying it correctly, the Ripple Drug Awareness, the organization.
Need a second to do that, right?
Yeah, I would second that so we can have a discussion.
So we don't discuss today, but we,
Future committee of the board.
yeah, that one I would look at opioid drug money that we're getting.
Yep. I
Right.
want to learn more about it.
Although that conversation is to get 3 commissioners
Yeah.
to say.
Yep. Yep, okay, does that cover it?
Yep. And lastly, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to all the staff who are here today. Thank you. Very grateful for your service. Happy Thanksgiving to my fellow commissioners. There are so many wonderful things to be grateful for in our great country, our county, and our community.
Can I ask just a question, regarding the homeless shelter? I was at a couple public hearings. Could you just tell me what the numbers are right now? And then,
Absolutely.
I think John Meyer had mentioned something, but I thought it was very interesting and the community would like to hear that.
So the overnight shelter has only been open for a week and a half. So those numbers are still recent. The day center at St. John's, St. Paul's, there's a lot of saints. St. Paul's Episcopal Church is anywhere from 14 to 26 people at the day center. The overnight shelter, it's more like, in the beginning it was 6 and then 9. I think we had a meeting last night at St. Paul's and the number was 16 from the night before at the overnight shelter, 16 individuals. And what's interesting, and this is something that maybe Jill or others might know, is that this year, historically, like in the past when I volunteered, 90 to 95% of the guests were males. But this year, pretty much every night, it's been 50% or more females, which is unusual to have that many females in an overnight shelter. I'm not curious. People are still trying to figure out how that's happening. But the short answer is we'll say 6 to 16 people at the overnight shelter. That's at Wesley United Methodist Church. And again, for the first time ever, Winona County's only 2 shelters have 24-hour coverage, and they have 3 meals a day. And they hope to have a case manager doing proactive work with guests, which include going out into the community and getting people to come to the shelters to receive services, et cetera. So more on that later too. Thank you for asking.
Is that spearheaded by Catholic Charities?
Yeah, Catholic Charities. That's
Okay.
all Catholic Charities. The county, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, has never spent a penny on the homeless shelters in Winona County, I believe. So this is all.
Well, unless somebody's getting services in another way, I
Right.
mean.
I'm just saying in terms of, there's been
Direct.
pass-through dollars from ARPA, from CARES, from et cetera, but yeah. So all through Catholic Charities, yes.
Okay, Commissioner Meyer.
You could just pass those along. Last week I went to an event that was held by United Way of Southeast Minnesota. They had a group that had done 12 volunteers engaged in a project to focus on the gaps, accessibility challenges, and the pressing needs of the county. And they came up with housing, financial insecurity, community inclusion and belonging, and community resource navigation. So they use the community health needs assessment, which they attribute to us, but which I understood from talking to staff. Emily Volkman said, nope, ours is called the community health assessment. And this is one that was done by Winona Health, although it is hosted, a copy of it is hosted on our website. But I thought I would share it. They have statistics, not just for the city of Winona, but across the county. So they show places in the county that have poverty and have a measure of that. So United Way is going to give $20,000 to the Winona Community Foundation, and they will make grants with that $20,000 to our nonprofits in the county to address the needs that were identified in this report.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, that takes care of that. Being that we got Jill Chaffee, am I saying it right? Chafee. Well, we used to get chaff in the barn, so Chafee. Jill, if you could stand to the podium. So we're getting, Jill just got here, but she's going to get an award at the AMC banquet early in December.
Well, I think we're going to both receive it.
Yeah. And this, I think we've all gotten emails on it, but it's the Southeast region, and that's about 6, 8, 10 counties or something.
Yes.
It always changes. A local public health group has done regional data modeling project. And this really came through Olmsted County
Right.
of collecting a lot of data, and they got, what do they call them? Boards and stuff that you can.
Yes,
What?
dashboards.
Dashboards, yeah, dashboards and such. And I can't really totally appreciate it. I think somebody in Jill's position. But it's been a consortium, and Olmsted County was always really good at putting that together and using that information. So congratulations,
Oh,
Jill.
thank you.
You're getting an award the first month you're here.
No, certainly not me. It's the team that has been doing it. And I think moving towards data-driven services and data
Yes.
is a really important piece. And I think they've done a nice job of doing that as a team of those counties.
Yes, yeah. So that'll be the first week there in December at the AMC Award.
Yes.
And I will join um, Jill, and we'll
Thank you.
bring that award home. But thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And hopefully you can use that. The other thing is, the other day we had a one watershed, one plan. And, you know, we're all worried about nitrates in the water. And I've had a couple constituents, and we talked about this just a little bit at the tap-in program where people could send their water sample in, get it tested, and then get a free reverse osmosis system. And one of my constituents gave me some information. First of all, we've had like 250 systems throughout the 8 counties installed this last summer. But this one particular one, initial testing was 13.6 milligrams per something or other, you know. And then they do a post test. After the reverse osmosis system was put in, it was down to 1.2. So this little tank that sits under your kitchen sink to provide different clean drinking water. Now, I don't know if that filter in there is highly contaminated, needs special recycling. I guess that's something nobody, you just ditch it. I don't know what it's got in it, but I mean, it's a filter that has to be replaced. So some more homework needs to be done on it. There is still more money. People, anybody out that you know that lives out in the county that is on a private well that's concerned, they can go to the tap in. There's 2 programs. There's another one too, but there still is resources for people to get their water tested. So it's amazing how one little thing can really improve water. And then maybe we got Chris here. We got media here. Our next meeting is December 11th, and it's our truth and taxation. And maybe, Chris, you could help us by running a little article about what that meeting is for. Because we normally get a number of citizens that are concerned, which they should be, of their value of their property. And it's real. And in the past, and I don't know if we'll have anybody available. In the past, we've had somebody here that night that could help them with that, or at least make an appointment. I think. Yeah, I think we really should have some staff here to help with that, but it's not really to talk about their value, it's to talk about the budget. And so, Chris, maybe you can write a nice little article for us and give people a heads up of what it's all about. And maybe we can give you a contact information if they have questions on their value or their specific properties. So we can be better prepared for people that have questions that night. I think it would be appreciated. And as Commissioner Vega said, yeah, Thanksgiving, be careful, be safe. President Trump pardoned the turkeys today. I think Governor Walz pardoned some turkeys and such, but I just soon eat beef instead of turkey, but that's okay. Minnesota is one of I think the largest producer of turkeys in the country. I think we still maintain that status and such. So happy Thanksgiving Day. All right, anything else to come before the county board? Entertain them. Oh, Bob. Yes, sir.
There were comments in the agenda about accomplishments and goals, and they weren't mentioned tonight, but I sure hope that each of you have a minute or two to see those, take a look at them.
Yes.
But there's something else that I wanted to mention. I wholeheartedly agreed with the statement regarding comparison of recorders. For several years, I was in the top 3 in Minnesota. Now I'm in the top 2. But the part that we're not seeing is that the others that I'm compared to, a couple of them weren't even recorders. They were filling in, and a couple others just started. And I've worked with new recorders. I've done some educational programs for them. And my years here, I don't have a big head, but I know the learning curve. And I know that the 3% doesn't cover the distance between us. But you know what? did some research on where the increases across the country are this evening. And across the country, it's about 3.5%. I sent a memo to Marina and said, I'd be very happy at 3%. And so tonight, I think you did that, and I want to thank you. And I want to add one more thing, and this is on behalf of all the elected people. This past year, I spoke to over 30 organizations and groups in Winona County. A couple of them had more than 50 people there. And in all of these groups and others, I spoke to over 700 people. And during that time, there were no charges for Winona County, no mileage, no meeting expenses. That was my gift to the county. And you know what? I can tell you that the county attorney is doing the very same thing, as is the county sheriff and our county auditor. And I am very proud to work with our county auditor. She has brought some excellent skills in real estate legal descriptions to that office, something we've not had for years. I was trying to pick up some of those, but it really was a challenging curve. An outstanding job is being done in the whole real estate arena. I thank you for this time and appreciate your comments tonight.
Bob,
Yes.
is it possible that some of those younger county recorders weren't even born yet when you started?
Yeah, Commissioner Olson, yes, you are absolutely right. Yes,
Wanted to double check.
yes. And people, you know, I
Wine,
have
you're
lots.
much better today, Bob, than you were 20 years ago.
Thanks.
Fine wine ages.
Thank you, Marcia. That's, yeah. All right. And thank you again. I appreciate being able to visit for a couple of minutes. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay, thank you. All right. Motion to adjourn would be in order.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Vagley, second by Commissioner Olson to adjourn. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Adjourn. Yeah, like I said, make sure you got snow scrapers, shovels, boots, hats, gloves,
It's.
turkeys.
Drive safe.
Well, if you're